So it's a new month and you know what this means. We are going to talk about the best overall Prebuilt gaming PCs of the month for August 2022. Now there are a couple deals that have been better because, as I said in my last Prebuilt PC videos, the market for these PCs have been a little bit tougher, but right now there are some good deals that I will recommend you. So if you have a budget from $730 all the way up to $2,000, this video is going to be for you. However, in the description you will have, of course, all of these PCs, but you will have plenty of more gaming PCs for different budgets that I updated for this month. So if you have a budget, let's say, of above $2,000 or below $730, down below in the description you will have more options that I do recommend you buying for your specific budget. With that being said, let's start with this one. So we start straight to the point. We have the VICTUS 15L, it's on a deal right now finally again. This one has the GTX 1660 Super for the GPU and the i5 12400 for the CPU. This is a great CPU-GPU combination for 1080p gaming. Even playing AAA titles, this one will allow you to play at 60 FPS smoothly, no problem whatsoever. The price is $730. Now there are a couple components that I would recommend you upgrading. The first one being the RAM and the second thing being the storage, and you can do this from different ways. If you put it by yourself, it's going to be cheaper, but if you want HP to build it for you, you can click on customize and buy and change it from there, but it is going to be more expensive. So I recommend at least 500 gigs of SSD on the primary storage section and 16 gigs of RAM on the memory kit. Now if you do these two upgrades from the HP website, it's going to cost you around $900. It's still a great PC. It's going to cost you around $900, so it's going to be a bit more expensive, but you definitely need those 16 gigs of RAM for today's games, especially AAA titles, and I recommend at least 500 gigs of M.2 SSD. Now if you can go for a terabyte, you will feel much better because you can download more games. On top of that, you get the i5 12400 non-F version, which is better because you get that iGPU that will help you out with video editing, but $900 is going to be more expensive indeed. However, these are upgrades that you can make later on by yourself if you don't have the money to do it right now, and if you want to do the upgrades right now and you can do them by yourself, this is the best option since you're going to save a lot of money with these upgrades. Another thing to mention is that now you can get the black version of the VICTUS 15L for no extra costs. This is something to keep in mind if you like your PC to be black instead of white. Personally, I will get the white version because I like white setups, but if you're more into black aesthetics, then go with the black version. No problems at all. With the next PC we have a system integrator. This one is the AVS Master Gaming PC that I've been recommending in my last couple videos. This one has the i5 12400F. Now once again, the 12400 is better for content creation, but the difference for gaming between the 12400 and the 12400F, it's literally non-existent because you already have a dedicated GPU on these builds. This one has the RTX 3060, which is going to be a much better option than the 1660 Super, and you get 16 gigs of RAM and 500 gigs of SSD. So no reason to upgrade anything here. You may want to upgrade the SSD if you need 1 terabyte, but that's about it. Then you get a beautiful case with RGB fans and great airflow. So the airflow for this PC and the upgradability path as well with the gaming performance right now is great, and the price is $999. Now you have to keep in mind that these PCs usually are out of stock because they are on a deal. So if you can get it, this is a great deal on the market right now, considering that RTX 3060 Prebuilt PCs are going for around at least $1,100, which is a lot of money I think for a gaming PC with that GPU, and the GPU itself is kinda overpriced in today's market. However, for 1080p gaming, I'd say this one is a really high-end GPU. For 1080p, of course, if you wanna go 1440p, then I will look for the RTX 3060 Ti, but for 1080p, the 3060 is really all that you're going to need. You definitely don't need more than that. With the next one we have the same HP VICTUS that I mentioned before, but this time you have to customize it from the HP website and go ahead and change the GPU to the RTX 3060 Ti and the RAM to 16 gigs. The total price will be $1,060, but wait a minute, this doesn't end here. I have a coupon code for a 5% off for this exact gaming PC, and then I'd recommend you going with at least 500 gigs of SSD by yourself. If you install it by yourself, you're going to be saving money, and that's what I want you to do. Save money with these PCs and get the max performance as you can get. You won't get a gaming PC at $1,100 with this type of components. Now I did a whole review about this PC, you can go ahead and watch it in the top right of the screen, and I also did some benchmarks in that video, so make sure to see that video if you want to see the performance at 1440p, because I tested in a 1440p monitor. So I think the value for the price, it's crazy. However, if you're a content creator, you can get the VICTUS 15L for $1,050, which is going to be cheaper. You get the RTX 3060, which is still great for gaming, and for content creation it's actually going to be great because you get those 12 gigs of VRAM, and it has the i7-12700K, which is a much better processor than the i5-12400, especially at content creation and multitasking. So if you're a content creator, you want to start video editing and doing all of this stuff for a relatively cheap price, for $1,050 you have that PC. You also get a terabyte of hard drive, 500 gigs of SSD, and 16 gigs of RAM. Now, if you can spend more, you can go with the Skytech Blaze gaming desktop for $1,400 from Newegg. This one has the i7-11700F, which is a great CPU for both gaming and multitasking. In terms of gaming, it's going to be really similar to the i5-12400, but it is better in terms of multitasking than the i5. Then you get the 3060 Ti, which is the same GPU of the VICTUS 15L that I do recommend you buying. And then you get 1TB of NVMe SSD, 16 gigs of RAM, a 600W 80+ gold power supply, and a 240 all-in-one liquid cooler to keep that CPU with good temps. Now, you get that from Spanish as well, so the airflow and CPU temps are going to be just fine. And yes, it is going to be more expensive. You end up spending $1,400, but this is a system integrator that you can upgrade pretty easily down the line if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking for just performance right now, you don't care about the upgradability, then the VICTUS 15L is going to be a better option, because in terms of performance right now, it's going to be the same, but the main difference is the upgradability path and the airflow. Now, for $1,600 from Newegg as well, we have the Kronos Gaming PC. I do recommend this PC a lot because of the price performance. You get the i5-12600K, my favorite CPU in the market, definitely all that you're going to need. You don't need the i7, especially if you're just for gaming. The i5-12600K, it's also unlocked and you get those integrated graphics, so for content creation it is going to be great as well. And then you get the RTX 3070, which is going to be better than the 3060 Ti, especially at 1440p gaming. If you're just for 1080p gaming, I wouldn't go even higher than the 3060 or the RX 6600 XT, but if you want a 1440p monitor and you want the smoothest experience without having to spend more than $1,600, this one is the right one for you. You get that same 1TB of SSD, 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler, and then you get a 650W 80+ gold power supply, which is enough for this build. You also get that from mesh panel with 3 RGB fans, so overall a great build for the price. While editing this video, I realized that the HP OMEN 45L is back on a deal right now. You end up saving $750. It's $2,000 before the coupon code that I will leave down below in the description. It's an extra 10% off, so the total price is $1,750 for the RTX 3080 and the i7-12700K. I won't talk much about this PC because I have a whole video talking about it, and I've made a benchmarks video as well. I will leave both in the top right of the screen. However, if this PC is not on sale anymore when you see this video, the number one on this list, which is different, is going to be helpful as well. But if this PC it's $19.99 and after the coupon code it's $1,750, this one is a much better deal, so keep that in mind before going to number one. And then with the best one for this month at around $2,000, you end up saving a whooping $600 on this deal. You get the Siege 3.0, again from Skytech. The last, it has the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X, a great Ryzen CPU. You get a 360 all-in-one liquid cooler, which is a totally overkill for this build, but it is a nice to have. The most important part here is that you get the RX 6900 XT 40 GPU, really similar to the RTX 3080 12 gigs version. So for $2,000 you're getting a great gaming PC, even for 4K gaming. You get 16 gigs of VRAM, which is more than enough, and you have to keep in mind that maybe right now VRAM is not really important, but down the line maybe this will make a huge difference for gaming in the future. So if you want your PC to run the newest games in the next couple of years, this one is going to be the right one for you, and the price is actually not crazy for the type of components that you get. On top of that, you get a terabyte of Gen 4 NVMe SSD. Once again, for gaming it's an overkill, but if you're looking for content creation and multitasking, then Gen 4 SSD it's going to be a nice to have. Then you get the same 16 gigs of RAM, DDR4 at 3200 MHz. Once again, I don't recommend anything more than this for gaming. However, if you're into content creation and you want to open a lot of Chrome tabs, do a streaming here and there, then I would start to search for 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16 gigs. But if you're just for gaming, 16 gigs more than enough. So that was the whole video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content, which I do from 3 to 5 times a week. And if you're looking for PC build videos, I have a bunch of them in my channel. However, I will upload much more videos this month with updated prices. That's why I do recommend you hitting that bell button so you get notified. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.